Yes, everything's okay. As as done good. Um, click done. Did I not? Yep, done. Hitting. No, wrong thing. There we go. Victoria 3. All right. That's correct. No pretty. Guess it's a mechanic that I've not. Oh, factory. Okay. A bit rate. Well, That that's lower. That's I hope that might need to mess with the form. Did lose all my settings. More trade advantage. Colonial. Okay. Not current. Okay. I have not played this in a while, so some things have seemingly. Organic. Need dwarf. Are the active. Black power ammo. So journal entries. Building a god is like a unique thing. I would need. Automata and standardized artistry and generic engine. Considering I do have dwarf rod, I probably want to go that first. Start building engines and then go into artificery. Base cost per era. Okay, not up. production. Wait, I don't have many. I'm behind on it. What if I? Crucial. Cross, well, the entire dwarf art. Likely not be able to make that. Cave coral produce food. Okay. Apparently you could make opium here. Serpent bloom cannot produce. Livestock not thing. Post I can get like more meat. Can I import from any castle? Or are you? Now also You want to sell fabric? Want- Oh, oh, so that's literally just apparently using way furniture. A lot of magical reasons. L2. Great privileges. That's part of the market that I merchant hardwood dyes. Sugar. All of the month. Those I don't think. What? Yeah, don't. I. That's overall. Level 10 mage tower, apparently. Merchant and transfer. I see the whole world. Can see this cut off. Non-currently active. I also need. So there's canon lore. For like, I think even past 1820. There's definitely lore up till this point. With the Jad stays strong, command collapses, Knowles secure the Sorrow, Black Powder Anbennar, where there's a revolution. The Kobolds get shafted. There is like a couple of things. They used to own parts for here, and then that collapsed. Not quite sure. I think during the game they're supposed to fall behind because they're still mage reliant, I think. But it's supposed to be more artificery main focus at this point. Insha is not yet in because they need to finish some extra lore. They want to add in some of like the minor races that don't really do much in EU4. They want to know how to represent them in Korea timeline. Iron, so expensive. Digging iron. I am currently playing as the great country that has like 2 mission trees that fell through in EU4. Um, Cook's Etze or the darkscales, which canonically secure this part of Borvar somehow. Because in EU4 they're not particularly strong right now. But it's at the moment the most successful Cobalt still. Yeah, I can see that. See, my favorite part is still where it just randomly cuts off into ocean because they've not finished the map. Because if I remember right, they are planning to add different planets. Uh, Not sure how they're planning on doing it, but I know that they are. I current industrialization. There's no. I know that black powder Anbennar is quite industrialized. Oh, got something stuck. Black powder Anbennar is quite industrialized. The Northern League is, I think, the main hub of industry. Um, which used to be where Gawed was. They like unified with Bjarnik and then got like overthrown. The Gnomish hierarchy is quite industrialized. The Triarchy is quite industrialized. For the rest, I don't think anything else within Islanter is super industrial. Um, like, industry-wise, kind of. But I do know that Laurent, like, closer, to like the UK analog. Like, it is still partially industrialized, but no, the Northern League is more industrial. But they have uh the colonies that are more supposed to resemble the UK, with having colonies in the India's area, and they will also have colonies in Asia, and being the main dominant uh, power still in the other areas. So yeah, Laurent is more the colonial aspect, and then the League, I think, is supposed to be right now the most uh, industrialized nation. The gnomes are always pretty decent at industrializing, but that's just because they're kind of already set up with artificery. I don't know who the current pressure is, because I don't know enough about the military situation. I know that Escan is quite weird because it recently collapsed, so all these nations are supposed to be relatively recently reformed, because that used to be part of Anbennar. But not everything is like a one-to-one. Isambor definitely got the short end of the stick, though, in the lore, where they almost conquered all of Sarhal and then got kicked out of even most of their bomb. Here, I this rod. 7 infamy. Colonies really start carrying at 10, right? If I remember right. Might be cope. Sympathy. Ooh, that means they might be able to be bribed into. They would just join? Okay, so that's not working. That's a shame. Seeing if I could just yoink something. feel like one of the main things that makes it quite hard to make it 1-to-1 is that in Victoria a lot of the focus is like on naval power, but a lot of countries are landlocked, so they had to balance that differently anyway. They're colonized. There, I do also know that at least last time I played it was a bit of a nothing ever happens game. There's just a good chance that the AI doesn't want to do anything. Yeah, I feel like Victoria 3 still just needs work, especially in like the combat system is just kind of meh. Antagonistic. That's not. Yeah, but now I just mainly want to see if I can get to that um, journal entry and see what that does. Like they are slowly adding more. It's just not quite sure if they're gonna be people that's successful in actually getting it. Yeah, it's one of the main reasons why I tend to play a lot more of the Anbennar things because then there just is other mechanics that I can do. Just go through like the little stories of well, the mission trees. Don't seem to have a lot of options diplomatically, or who don't hate me that are realistically able to support me. Guys, get their support, I think I'm more likely to older. Like, it is fun every so often to do some blobbing. It's just like after so many thousand hours, kind of run out of stuff to do. Foreign affairs opium. Yeah, I feel like at the moment TK3 probably has like the most different ways where you can play. Because you can just choose to focus on other things instead of blob. Oh, I am quite excited for like the next DLC. It's likely to be quite expensive, but uh, I am a big fan of Republics. Hey, apparently I had a bunch of spells ready. But the new religious mechanics that they are adding seem quite interesting, and being able to play Republics, but uh, Verko Gulag. Huh. I think they've uh the last couple of years, I think they've like split the teams a bit more so that the effects from each game affect the others less. So each can just focus more on their own things, which spread too thin. I'm not sure. I feel like it's large enough companies uh, that they've got development teams large enough to do stuff. The question is whether they are allocating those resources appropriately. But I don't have a lot of insight in that. I imagine they're not going to really give out too much information on that either. Sugar plant. Is there a way? Don't think I have a way at the moment forcing my vassal to colonize. They are basically blocking me off of colonizing over here. All Under Heaven was quite large, like in general for like any form of paradox drop. In general, paradox doesn't tend to change the maps much, so having like a massive extension to the map was, well, quite different from usual paradox. Like it is, I would say, like the one CK DLC where I don't think it is too overpriced, because a lot of the CK DLCs, well, they can be good, are so expensive. Yeah, yeah, China was like a big thing, especially because if I remember right, CK3 also has like a very large uh, Chinese audience. So I imagine those uh, also like pushed them in the direction of like, okay, we're going to get a lot of sales from this. But like they expand into Africa. Uh, Not sure how much push there is for it. I do think it would be interesting if there's more of Africa. I just don't know what they would do. I know that Hoi 4, at least for a while, uh, like you couldn't buy it on a lot of standard things uh, within China because the Chinese government had an issue with uh, the depiction of the warlord states. Um, because the like Chinese government has a very particular way it wants the history of that era to be told. The fact that they like differentiated that with the warlord states in Point 4, you know that they did not like that. Like it's not a flattering picture. The idea that your country existed out of a bunch of warlords for a bit, but I feel like denying history is just doesn't get you anywhere. Getting information on like I can get involved. Yeah, I'm at least aware of some of Radia's history. Not all too flattering, but that comes with being, well, a colonial nation. Like Dutch history is also not particularly flattering, but it's still part of our history, and we can't ignore it. Yeah, like colonial settler colonial state. by nature, if you want to take over a region, it's not gonna go nice. Like, there's gonna be conflict, and there's, well, gonna be exploitative behavior. I feel like it's very weird when people go like, um, they fully want to separate from that past. It's like, okay, we're now moving ahead. We're not gonna acknowledge what happens. Um, like it's a thing I see at least quite often in like in American politics, uh, where they want to say, okay, we've got rid of separation. Uh, so everything is good now, as if there's not a lot of social economic follow up from having uh, separation. Like a lot of um, like black communities live still in some form of poverty because of the effects of like 50 years back, and then not working as like a country to try and fix that or even look at that creates really weird tension. Um, because they go, oh well, we got rid of separation, so it is fine now. Like, it's a step in the right direction, but you cannot not see what happened. The Japanese have a very weird way of like still interacting with their history. Like a lot of uh things would be like, okay, we'll not look at it, but Japan still kind of uh, holds on to a lot of like the at least ideas, just separated from the war. But the funniest bit, at least, of like Spanish history that I know that with Franco is that they when Franco lost power, they were like thinking, okay, what do we do with like a national anthem? Do we like change it or keep the one current? And I love how they just decided, yeah, we'll keep the current one, but we'll remove the text. So now they have a national anthem without lyrics. Like, it's certainly is an option. Ooh. Transfer that. How strong is Callisto? In a EU4, they're like really strong. 42. Not that's not a lot of troops. Too quick. Freaking. Ah, but you see, it says God, so it wouldn't be secular. Which, to be fair, the Dutch one is also not secular. We still refers to God like in almost every part of it. Uh, but also it still refers to our subjugation under the Spanish. Like in the first, oh, fuck, how's it called? Refrain, but I can't remember the English word for it. Uh, but it starts talking about how we still are used to being loyal to the Spanish. Like de koning van Hispanje heb ik altijd geëerd. Like we've always honored the king of Spain, which is not really applicable anymore, but we still use it. And for the rest, it's like just talking about like one of our first rulers. Is not particularly secular. Just keep referring to a king that does no longer exist. Oh yeah, because they... Oh, literacy is bad. I guess the literacy of seeing at least some industrialization. Uh, well, no, maybe some of them. Nice. Like the ones in the triarchy can read. Oh god, I just realized the map is now completely skewed because the FLI has 100% literacy. So the map now just makes everyone look like illiterates because they're not 100% literate. That's the kind of. Where am I mining? There. I can basic production. Um. Hmm. I don't know. I know I'm producing serpent's bloom. But that is separate from the sugar. I can also grow cotton and opium. I can't grow fruits though. At the start of the game, basically there was like a massive demand for. There's still a demand for fruit. Still very expensive. Update. Tell me more. Probably fungus. Almost everything being produced in the mountains that's like agriculture is like fungus. Harvesting are a lot less saves. Problem is, do have a very high population. Not a lot of tools. Like opium, I think it's just like any form of opioids. Or remember right, yes, or more. I should also. No, they're just producing mushrooms specifically, but also opium. It's also just specific hallucinogenic plant. Herb gardens. Modern sewage. Rapid To be fair, the biggest drug users are over here. Ves-Udsen clan is known for its massive drug use, which would explain why they're producing a bunch of opium in their capital. Um, I think in this game specifically, you are able to just convert people into a different race. Not sure if they managed to find a proper way to block that. So this it just has a bunch of pops that are supposed to be of a specific race, and I think how they look is bound to that, but then for the rest, not so much. Because you can only bind so much to the culture. Iron. Iron. Yeah, culture they bind to race because that's the same way they do it in EU4. Higher learning. Uh, older method. Still more iron is needed. 26th largest country in the world. So that difference between Melek Mengi and Nahana Jet. Nahana Jet is that one. Is that very population? Very called their rival. Or try and deal with Brombar. Know that this small country is a massive bread basket. Should at least be producing a decent amount of wheat, and it'll. I think within Anbennar it's itself. I think this Maria area. Maybe not. All of it is. Okay, this is producing palm wool. Film Anbennar, it seems to be Fumble, where the wheat. If I could take the Western Serpent's Veil, that would be so good. Um, we think this is where Rye. If you get into Garudia, it becomes a bit too more, more standard. Don, I imagine, has. I know that the Serpent's Veil is like a massive weakness. In canon, that little veil used to produce most of the food within the entire serpent spine. That, at this point, would have been thousands of years ago. Tax waste. What is in government? Just landowners. Land-based taxation. Ooh, peasant levies. Okay, that's really bad. But the landowners wanted. I could get the armed forces in, but as long as the landowners say no, while they own 52 of the of the political will, there is no way. I need to where labor association guild system, which is supported by acronym is proper acronym. Localize. No social security, equal property. I'm surprised it's not higher, considering kobolds shouldn't really have much between men and women. No school. Very important to not go to religious school. Well, consider I've got a pretty large population in a very small area. If the government was to pay for them living, I'd simply go broke. Like, there's no way to afford that much. Ungol Davor. Like, send me more fruit. And thank you. I will improve the sugar production. It's a bit of a backwards country, but we make do. Okay. Buying fruit for sugar. This is like a weird arrangement, but forced loyalty. Patient access. Likely to increase autonomy. Army power projection under 10 times. Payment. Quickly build an iron mine in them. Uh, it goes from 1820 instead of 1836. After that, I don't know. I know that there's a focus on colonizing in India and then opening the planner portals. There's quite a couple of ones. There's one over here somewhere, which I don't know if it has a model. I'm gonna guess not. But there's like a planner portal over there. There's one like in Zerat. A couple of other ones. You're not gonna like that. High Liberty Desire. I need to rework some of it. Legacy slavery. There are people colonials. Slavery banned. Uh, it is. It's like just the latest thing that was added. It was like added on the map for a while, and the ideas for it were there. Like I think before like Hellas was like properly finished. The problem was that um, the plan was always for it to be the most like experimental and different. So it basically was always low priority to add. Um, like the highest priority, like Connor, Ilantir, and the Serpent Spine, and then Bulwar was added, and they just slowly added stuff. Um, and then it was only recently added, and then yeah, so it's at least for EU4, there's the thing where it's supposed to remain separate for a while. So it is something to do more late game for colonizers. Because in general, like, there's not that much colonial land in Anbennar. So Insha is supposed to be like the thing of like, okay, now that everything else is done, this is a late game thing you can do. And it only like unlocks later, so people don't just immediately rush it. Then in this it is supposed to gonna be more integrated. It's just that since it was the last thing that is added, there's just not that much lore and content of it yet. You're just kind of incentivized to cut people off as quickly as possible. God, my loyalty is really high. To be fair, this is weirdly high standard of living that they do have. Which, as far as I'm aware, that is just a weird thing in Wiki in general. Where if I had to like look at specifically no more. If I were to check save, there's a way to do it, but I can't remember how. Population, detailed list. Yeah, the slaves have a weirdly high standard of living. That's above the minimum expected. No, that's like just a general thing that's a bit weird in Wiki. Reminds you. Um. So in Insha, at least in EU4, there's like a thing over there and a thing over there that are both on the coast. And if you hold both of those, you can do something that will allow you to break out. So you mostly want to have been consolidated before you go outside of it. So within EU4, it is fairly isolated. It is definitely the easiest continent to just click, turn it off. Motor industry. Motor in- oh, pro. Should now have more economic independence. Um, multiplayer, I don't know. Uh, I I am my most decent one at least. Uh, I'm just playing in it, so yeah. If you have no one in Insha and you're playing multiplayer, there's a good chance you could just turn it off. So you don't have to deal with it. And realistically, multiplayer games don't tend to last into the end game anyway. like EU4 in general, late game is just it lags to hell and back. Constant. Rural folk in the yeah, yeah. I tend to not play all the way to the end where it's like million stacks because it's just awful. Like at some point you just don't run out of building slots. So the money basically only exists for pumping out more armies. Oh, where's my enemy gone? Area is not being taxed. Okay, so that's the vassal. Wait, no. Pretty good transfer income. Is selling the sugar. Yeah, I feel like the problem is that like realistically, even if you try and push past your force limit, like with money, you're gonna hit the manpower cap way earlier. But to be fair, you do reach a limit of mercenaries. There's only a limited amount of mercenary groups, so will eventually not have to deal as much with that. I'm gonna see. Can I reform the government in a way that is not gonna immediately reduce my red priesthood? Can I do both? No. There's no way the intelligentsia. Yeah, no. They do bad manpower. What was it like? Um, the professionalism thing, right? We got rid of some professionalism. Purge? Was it 5 or was it like even less or something? I remember it being really stupid. Eventually, which laws were the most effective? Yes, this would piss them off too much. I can't do that. Yeah, now it's like a monthly modifier, which is much more reasonable. Works rights content. Yep, slavery. I can't jump to that because no one wants it. Well, legacy slavery. I vaguely remember switching to legacy slavery makes it harder to then switch to banning slavery. But it would be a good way to get at least some political power away from the landowners. I don't hate this much. Legacy slavery they don't hate. So that is doable. I think that is just the first step. Um who is in favor of it? Intelligentsia. That would crush. So I don't necessarily uh want to get fully rid of the landowners or like have a specific one in mind. But the problem is that they currently own 51%, so I can't switch any laws all that effectively. And land-based taxation sucks. I want to get rid of that. I need better taxation, and I need to get rid of peasant levies. As long as I've got peasant levies, I cannot fight any wars. So they need to have less. They just need to have less influence. Which local police force into dedicated police force. They hate that. A lot of people like it. They kinda hate it. Pro-slavery movement has a problem with that a movement that I can sabotage? Supremacist? Ethno-state? National supremacy? Care about none of the things that I care about. Wait, why do they have this? For the Nimrithians? That makes no sense. I guess they just straight up copied it. Peasant movement. Abolitionist. Not doing. I've got enough authority. Okay. This would require killing my... The only ones that want that would be... against you. But that's not an option. That would destroy my government. I will imagine that this will not be a viable... No, any government without the landowner is not a viable government. So, grab one of them. See, the problem there is that there's a lot of people in the country. And right now they're kind of loyal. And if the country destabilizes too much, the dwarves are just gonna take my hold. And that's not okay. I guess I should try and just force dedicated police. I think that is the easy one. Oh, appoint bureaucrats. I can check there. So they've got they're not like the largest pop number. Let's go through this. Station, laws, modifiers, cloud. They've got plus 85 from my laws. And then they've got multiple people buffing their stuff. And wealth. They've got a lot of wealth. They are like the aristocrats. Like that plus 85. Like the plus 25 I think is because yeah, the ruler is a landowner and a slaver. Okay. So getting rid of slavery is not gonna happen until I get rid of him. Great. Oh, that makes that really difficult. Well, currently they're a child, so they have no political alignment yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of slavery, but I'm gonna put this in. if I can get a dedicated police force. There's a good chance this just won't succeed. I find someone who has that law. They've got local police force. Crombar. Dedicated. Okay, they've got dedicated. Can I? Change it. Wait, no. Oh no, wait. More commitment. If they're willing to accept this. They do not. Add it anyway. Let's see if I can bribe them into boosting it, because right now law commitment has... Oh no, it's minus 40. That is just unlikely. Guess it is just gambling on getting that law through. Landowners won't like it. It'll against your will. Pro-slavery movement, sabotaging it. Of course it is. Negotiate. Oh, yeah, there's 37 because landowners. Still growing. I guess I haven't entangled them enough, and my power projection isn't high enough. I'm building more iron mines in them. Should entangle them further. Those mine through. Military cost. I'm over the investment pool contribute. I do have a decent amount of mages. Iron mines, more iron mines. Slightly there. And definitely should be here. It's like playing Japan with the sheer amount of untaxed people. Burma. Well, I feel like the gambling is losing, but not much else to do there. Therefore, let it go. Allies are completely bound to a treaty. Which here in guys. Cordial. Get it done. Relations with Lavor. Feel like I can actually those. Burning recognition. Unrecognized power. Analyzing. Oh, null debate success. Where is Gooch? Oh, all the way down there. Okay. That take a while. Nationalism. Growth speed. Artificial stats. Requires game stare. I don't know if I've got any. Oh, I could start producing doodads. They're pretty important for like a lot of. then I would first need a steam ceremony. Two things. I want to be the majority shareholder in their myth. Melting. Really close to actually being able to be ruler's popularity, pressure. Is there a way for me to off my little can? But the economic ramifications of it would be pretty bad. How is the book? I need the extra money. Unrealized taxes. So their attack. Like this one is to build a god. But I think what's a way to like Okay. Just barely refuse. Let me see if I have it in the budget. Use it to negotiate one. So close. Just not. Ruler's popularity. Can I afford this? Think legitimacy, but not by enough. My normal taxes. Many tax cheats. Filing cabinet. Magical bureaucrat. Allowed those? Mean less aristocrats. I'll take it. Yeah, just kick them out of the bureaucracy. Oh, now they're just less influential. Okay, that's gonna be set back. Negotiate. Then when it's positive, it's still refused. I'm missing something. Okay, gold fields. We're going there. A little more reason. improve administration. If there's more money to be made there, there's going to be more tax cheat. Oh, cultivate success. Still unlikely to. Man can cope. Sure. About more than enough. Ops. Good added tax. You know what? Consumption tax on sugar seems fine. Not too expensive, and I'm producing sugar, and I'm also exporting it. Luxury, I think. Don't tend to complain too. Gonna keep coping. Got enough bureaucracy. How does this negotiating system genuinely not know? Loyalists. Food. There is silver in the market. risky. Would give me the paper right. See if I need that paper after expanding the administration a bit. And produce the silver myself. I can also. Right now, it's basically. Ah, fuck it. You can create demand. Should be the same. Okay. In nothing. They are in the same. Suddenly. Oh, still not producing it. Weird, I feel like should be. Use this hiring target. Okay. Now hiring people. Cave goblins. We're gonna should slowly make silver more. Yeah, the dedicated police force is likely to pull through. Although, still just going up and down. Number 4 silver. How much silver? 30. Yeah, so I will need that extra mine. For producing coal? Yeah, in the same province. So that should be fine. Just Well, that's gonna fall through. Unwilling to hire. Now the wood. Cave corp. They've got thing listed? Apparently not. I'll embargo them. And this would have to be yes. The moment I contact them. Food industry. Station and merchant. Oh? Why? They're now happy? But then the bait failed. Ah! Okay. Can't build a rail. And try and push. Okay, soon I will be producing steel. Have more room for. Okay, well, that's the end of the law. A shame. National Guard should be straightforward enough. Oddly annoying. I'm gonna imagine that their troops are real troops. They do have an army, but it's conscripts, which aren't very good. Yeah. Failed. Refuses to negotiate because either side would want. How can the hierarchy get involved? Wait, what? Woohoo! They're fighting over colonial. Currently, they're in the way. Oh, they're vassal off. Why did the economy crash again? But a steel mill has been built. Nothing. How much corruption? Still more. General real threat. I love how I can supposedly get involved here. Okay, Laurentius has less company. Hold up a minute. Why are they fighting this? Transfer of Daltungar. Oh, because they're a protectorate. Somehow get more economically bound, but decay right now. Thing is, I remember public school. Allow me to slightly think. More authority would be nice. Okay. Possibility to create a host for the spirit of Nimrith is here. Our reborn Nimrith will lead our nation to new heights of glory. New technological revelations spreading into our nation. We believe that the time of Nimrith's revival is near. Our offerings to the Horde have been amassing for centuries now, and our priests claim that the time of awakening is drawing close. The resources available to us and the latest advancements we have discovered, we shall build our Lord and God a new body so he may once more live among us. Nimrith shall return. Okay. Fuel shortage. That should fix right quick. Amount of miners. Engines. Oh. Oh. Can't I now? Restored trains. So instead of using iron. The price of engines will soar. Coal will grow. There you go. To build a suitable vessel at such a scale will require monumental efforts. While the priest-smiths could provide such, it would take much time. It may thus be beneficial to request the aid of another influential group in our nation. Uh, A grand debate has started amongst the members of our court as to who could provide the parts to construct the shell that will house Nimrith Reborn. Three main factions have pushed themselves to prominence. Priest-smiths themselves, the industrialists, um, supported by Ekbo Mindspike. Hope the game is still paused. Guess it still recalculated the engines. That should fix itself. And the group backing Vud Mindspike, representing our traditional guilds. They look to Quipsack's small pick to make a call as to who to focus on. That's industrialists. Industrialists are currently they think one more. So how's the engine production going? Oh, train a second. As a constructed being, you have the opportunity to influence what aspect of rulership Nimrith will be most drawn toward. As a tool whose forms define its function, so too shall the shaping of Nimrith Reborns optimize the focus of our future leader of the nation. Should Nimrith be a military leader, all-seeing administrator, or a spiritual guide beyond compare? The armed forces has pushed for a fiercely intelligent general for our nation, expand our borders and draw us to us our compatriots throughout the Dwarf Arc. The intelligentsia are pushing for a philosopher king who exemplifies the enlightened ideas of justice and progress. The Red Priesthood are eager that he proves a masterful and wise theologian, only true God King, spiritual leader, lead our troops, enlightened monarch. Ah, nah. Nimrith the Red was an angry boy. He could lead our troops. Look, dangerous dungeon. Will make me some money. Steel shortage, but the steel mills also hire more. Mimic precursor steel. Fire aromatic fire doodads and that's right now. Still, one of my main issues is the sheer amount of tax fraud. Okay, people in the capital are slowly learning to. Okay. urban center building level is greater than or equal to 22. Makes the urban center grow again. Every 100 urbanization. Okay. Services help for urbanization. Urbanization per level. Five. 20. Okay. Oof. There is no way I can do that in time. Looking at this. Number of battalions? I already need to up that, which... And I'll... both those. New. The only thing I can affect is the urbanization, which will require way more. That's not gonna happen. Okay? Especially with how quickly they're sabotaged. Okay. I think they're just gonna sabotage it. I don't think within this amount of time I can get the money needed. They can't build more troops, and the sheer amount of urbanization needed is higher. They're gonna sabotage it not to load. Okay. Looking at this, how quickly the sabotage goes up, and then the sheer amount of urbanization. it seems that it wants you to first build up your country. Um, Basically, wait with getting this tech until you are ready to build it. Which I didn't do. I rushed it instead. Um, so there is no way I'm gonna succeed. But I get to see the other. Yeah, from the speed up. I can instead just see what the negative effect would be. Per capita tech. Army though. Currently. Try and get to that. Must have been weird. Okay, slowly catching the text. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, why did they suddenly get all the untakeable? Okay, they're now producing that, which is pretty strong is the army. 643. guess it makes sense that the landowners will sabotage it as it take away their job. Very weak. I'll just bit. Shortage of game stick. What is now demanding game stick? That. Weird interplay of the steel not being done. Kind of weird. Oh, steel shortage. Now the steel gets to use itself. Not gonna happen. Army? Barracks can. $100? That event. Everyone involved loses a bunch of pop attraction. Slowly turning away from the book, Imrith will or should turn to watch over the world. Wait for a true shame. Uh, okay. I think I'll try again next week, considering the time. And then I will take it a little bit slower. So I can actually build up a bit before having to do those things. So for now, all my settings are gone, which includes the rate button, which is not standard on Twitch. I'll put back in the did you know corner, and I'll fix the things at some point. But for now, stuff is just broken. I had to reset a lot of stuff. It's also why the EU4 save is gone. Yeah, for now, I think I'll leave it here, and then I'll be back next week, seeing if I can set up a bit better to build a god. So for now, bye bye.